Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Good afternoon and welcome to Convocation. My name is Dr. Wanda Costin and I have the distinct honor and privilege of serving as the Provost and Vice President Academic at Dalhousie University. Please be seated. At this time, I invite Elder Thomas Christmas and Elder Ann Lobilowa to offer Mi'kma'ki welcome.
Jadida Mi'kma'ki Bejida Chibuk to Dalhousie. Welcome to Mi'kma'ki, to Halifax specifically. And I have the honor and privilege of saying a welcome to Mi'kma'ki, our land of the Ilnu. And I also have the privilege of saying a prayer. So I think what we'll do is we'll say a prayer first. If you can stand. Oh, and good afternoon, by the way, I'm sorry. Kisu koladiak, chitantilias did me till Maudanan. Tantal Maudanan, Tilibon Monan, Squidnuk. Tang Pemgunun muscle titch. Attack Gagunun muscle titch. Attack Kadul Kudiji. Hakiso Hadawi. A bond on Squidnula, Maliaman, Mujilane, when a Mudalain, Deputated. Mi'kma'ki. A holiday, the Tantage Willigis Malikom, can you Kadu? A holiday, the Tantage will all cheer. Pitney Yam Kanchita, Casco, Garganamas of Tiju. Nobody would have noticed if I said school, eh? And I almost said it twice. See, I don't speak Mi'kmaq 16 hours a day, and this is a great thing for me to be able to speak my language to you and to my people. And I also asked the Creator to watch over you while you were here and to help the graduates with their futures. I know you have a lot to do with your future too, but I think you can use some help. And I ask the Creator to watch over you while you are here. Have to excuse me if I repeat myself. It's all part of getting old, they tell me. And I hope the graduates don't overdo it tonight, just like you guys. Because we have some crazy drivers out here in Halifax. Oh, you noticed, did you? But anyway, I have an introduction to do, and that's Ann Lobilowa. She's the elder for Dalhousie here. And I want to thank you for allowing me to speak to you. And you can have a seat. And here's Ann Lobilowa.
Well, Alan, Tom. You know, Tom speaks for me from my heart because I do not speak the language. And it's always so wonderful to hear him when he speaks the language. I remember hearing my mom talk, and I can still hear her sometimes. So some of the words, I only know a few, and one of the most important ones for me is Dalhousie. Dalhousie is welcome. but it's more than that. The elders had told me it meant when they said welcome to someone, it was welcome, come into my lodge. Come into my lodge and take the best seat of the house right next to me, and I will share everything that I have with you. And I remember my parents always doing that, and everybody always left with a smile on their face, even if they came in crying or something. And I used to ask them, I said, how do you do that? How do you do that? How come everybody leaves with a smile on their face? You know, and they just said, well, you just be kind, you know, accept people as they are. So I just want to say, congratulations, students. Like, congratulations, like, you accomplished a lot. And congratulations to the families and everyone who got you here. Like, wow, great work. I'm telling you, that was a big job. So one of the things that an elder had told me many years ago was about the forest, of how she referred to the forest as something that is in us, because we are all of nature. We are the water, we are the grass, we are the animals, because all of that is there so that we can exist. We need everything about it, everything that there is out there, we need that, so that we can walk upon the earth. And she said one thing, that the trees symbolize how to have that strength and courage. And we are like the trees that walk around. The trees that are in the forest, they get burnt, they get chopped up, they get cut down, they get flooded, but yet they do the most beautiful thing they're supposed to do. They still produce that beautiful green leaf, even if they're laying on the ground, or they still clean the air as they're supposed to do so that we can breathe. She said that is what we need to learn how to do. We need to learn how to listen to that and to observe how it actually works. Because they said the forest is only the true place of true harmony and true diversity. And that spirit doesn't judge whatsoever. There's every shape and color and size in the true forest. And it's all been sustaining itself for billions of years so that we can come along. We can come along and do whatever we do. So we need to remember sometimes to give thanks to the creation that is here for us. And another great blessing is our breath. We do not breathe on our own. That was given to us out of a gift of love. And again, Spirit doesn't judge or criticize or doesn't do anything. It gives everybody the same opportunity to breathe. What a gift. So again, I have to say thank you when I wake up in the morning that I'm still here and I still can breathe and I can still move around. And even if I can't move, I still have to say thank you. So that's a very important thing. So I'm going to share with you what my ancestors, I know that my ancestors did, is when they sat on the land, they not only sat on it, they sat with it. And what I mean by that is that they listened in a certain way that we've forgotten how to listen. They observed in a way that we kind of forget how to observe also. We get so distracted nowadays. I mean, we have technology, we have AI, we have all of this that kind of makes us forget, maybe, makes us deaf and blind to what really is reality, what really is the truth and the strength. So I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, just like a newborn baby does when they're sleeping, and you're going to meet your sacred breath. And what we're doing is paying attention to this gift that we were given just for a moment. So I'm going to ask you to take a breath in through your nostrils and then release it through your nostrils very gently. So let's try that. Take this breath in. Feel it as it goes in, and release the breath as it comes out through your nostrils. This breath in. Feel the coolness. And this breath out, and feel the warmth as it leaves. This breath in. And this breath out. This breath in, I am well, I am whole. This breath out, I am so grateful. This breath in, and with the breath out, I want you to release your shoulders and your muscles and to allow it to relax and let go and feel what true relief feels like. This breath in, and this breath out, and release your shoulders again. This breath in, all the excitement and anxiety and frustrations maybe of this day and what's to come, allow it to be, and then release it when you release your breath. And your shoulders also. This breath in, and this breath out, and just sit and be the best you can be, just for a moment, and find your own rhythm of breathing. And if your mind is still thinking, that's what it does, you can put those thoughts, whatever they are, you can tell it, I know what you are. You're planning, you're judging, you're criticizing, you're remembering, you're planning. I don't need you in this moment. I can put you on a cloud and let you drift off because I want to come back. I want to feel this breath in, and this breath out, and relax my shoulders. And know that I am grounded and whole and well in this moment. As I sit with the one who gives me my breath. O great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the wind, whose breath gives life to all, hear me, for I am young, small, and weak, and I need your strength so much. Take my hands and help me to respect the beautiful things you have created, including myself. Take my feet and guide me so that I can find that path, that way of life that has wellness, courage, strength, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, joy, love, happiness, wisdom, and peace. Help me to learn the lessons you have placed in every leaf and rock, so I can learn these teachings and bring them back to the people. And help me not to be superior to my brothers and sisters, but to conquer the greatest enemy, myself, so that when my eyes fade like the setting sun, my spirit can come to you without shame. Tahoe, this breath in, I believe and trust, and this breath out, I am so grateful. And just sit and be. And always release your shoulders. So now you can bring yourself back into the moment where you're sitting and feel yourself sitting in your chair. This is how our physical being talks to us, and you can slowly open your eyes. And when you do open your eyes, you'll feel a sensation, and that sensation is because we've taken a moment to be able to sit in total healing that allows our physical being and our mind and our spirit to be the best that it can be, just like those trees out there. And again, I like to always say, to breathe is a way of life, and it's everywhere we go. We don't even have to think about it. But when we're in places that is high chaos and everything, like Costco, let me tell you, it's a really wonderful place to practice, and it really works. So again, congratulations to all, and let's celebrate in Sonogamy.
Thank you, Elder Christmas and Elder Labilawa. Dalhousie University is located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Lenape. We are all treaty people. There are three key components to this statement. The first is the acknowledgment the land Dalhousie sits on is part of Mi'kma'ki, the territory of the Lenape. The second is the acknowledgment of the territory as both ancestral and unceded, recognizing that the peace and friendship treaties signed between the British Crown and the Mi'kmaq did not involve surrender of land. Finally, the phrase, "we are all treaty people," reminds us that these treaties apply to all of us, Indigenous and settlers alike. At Dalhousie, we continue to work and build on these critically important relationships and friendships and remain committed to the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report. We also recognize African Nova Scotians as distinct people whose histories, legacies, and contributions have enriched the part of Mi'kma'ki known as Nova Scotia for more than 400 years. We are deeply grateful to the Indigenous and African Nova Scotian faculty, staff, students, administrators, and elders who help guide our efforts, from pathways programs and admissions to curriculum and community partnerships. While we recognize there is still much more to do, we remain committed to a future grounded in equity and inclusive excellence. Today is a day of celebration, a celebration of endings and new beginnings. We invite you to celebrate in this moment with the joy and enthusiasm appropriate to celebrate your graduates. I'd like to now take a moment to introduce the stage party. If you wouldn't mind, please standing or raising your hand so we can acknowledge you. Elder Ann Labilawa. Elder Thomas Christmas. Dr. Rustam Southwell, Chancellor. Dr. Kim Brooks, President and Vice Chancellor. Dr. Louise Spiteri, Chair of Senate. Dr. Jennifer Andrews, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Science. Dr. Marty Leonard, Dean, Faculty of Graduate Studies. Nicole Douglas, Director of Academic Regulations and Services and Associate Registrar, recipient of the Rosemary Gill Award and University Beetle for this ceremony. Caroline Blair Smith, Vice President of Human Resources with Nova Scotia Power, and our Convocation speaker. Today, we also have with us in the audience and on the stage faculty who have assisted our graduates in their success. I would ask those faculty members and staff who are with us today, whether in the audience or on stage, to please rise or give a wave so that we may acknowledge you. Please be seated. I'd like to take a moment. We don't anticipate any emergencies, but in the event of an emergency, if you look behind you, there are 2 green exit doors, yes, just like on the plane, and that's where you'll head out. It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to present to you the President and Vice Chancellor of Dalhousie University, Dr. Kim Brooks, to deliver opening remarks.
All right, good afternoon. Before I get started with some opening remarks, I'm just going to show you something. I'm going to do a demonstration, just so that you can get a sense for what's appropriate when your graduate walks across the stage. People sometimes don't know what's appropriate, you know what I mean? Anyway, I have a kid that's graduating from high school at the end of June, and this is what I'm going to do when he crosses the stage. You know what I mean? Feel bad for him. Anyway, that's appropriate, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't even know it's coming. He's going to love it. All right. Let me begin with a name that some of you will know, George Eliot Clarke. Poet laureate, literary giant, voice of Africadia, twice appearing on our Convocation stage at Dalhousie, George Eliot Clarke earned his master's degree in English in 1989 and was later awarded an honorary Doctor's of Law in 1999. He's one of Canada's most celebrated writers, winning a Governor General's Award, shaping literary canon, and teaching generations of students to think with rigor, passion, and pride. And watching his brain and heart unfurl in his work is like eating fried chicken on a hot summer day where you just want to eat one more piece, but you're already so full you can barely stand it. But please, just one more piece. So freaking good. Long before the awards and accolades, George was just a young man from Windsor, Nova Scotia, but he found his way here, and like you, he walked these streets, sat in these lecture halls, looked for language that could capture a world too often ignored, and he found it. Not by conforming, but by insisting on the power of Black voices, on the possibility of justice, on the necessity of truth. In a poem he wrote for Dalhousie's 200th anniversary, Clarke reflected, quote, "Dalhousie University's history is now 200 years and counting, existing before I and you, and likely persisting eternally after us," end quote. He recalled the library where he was once locked in over Christmas, so deep was his research. That's why it happened, I'm sure. The professors who challenged him, the poetry that formed him, the city that inspired him. Dalhousie, he wrote, was, quote, "that excellent device, a schooled insurgency, summoning perennially young Turks to make it new," end quote. That is your inheritance. You have found something here. In the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, you've trained in disciplines that demand nuance, creativity, empathy, and critique. You've explored histories and philosophies, studied the structures that shape society, and asked questions that can't be answered by algorithm. That work has never been more urgent. Our world is being reshaped from climate disruption and racial injustice to the rise of AI, pandemic recovery, and threats to democratic values. These challenges are driven not just by technology or nature, but by how people think, connect, and govern. As the Federation of the Humanities and Social Sciences has observed, quote, many of the most difficult problems we face are shaped by human behavior and public policy, end quote. Technical knowledge alone won't suffice. We need critical thinkers, historical awareness, ethical judgment, and cultural literacy, skills cultivated in arts, humanities, and social sciences. Employers from tech to government recognize this. They're seeking graduates with analytical reasoning, complex communication, and the capacity to manage change and uncertainty. Contrary to the myth that the arts and social sciences and humanities are impractical, research shows employers want people who can think deeply, listen carefully, and build bridges across difference. More than that, democratic societies depend on you. In an era of misinformation, polarization, and crises, citizens educated in the humanities and social sciences are less likely to be swayed by false narratives and better equipped to hold leaders accountable. You are the stewards of public discourse, guardians of the stories that hold societies together. The world needs your truth-telling, your clarity, your courage, your conviction. Whether you're going into teaching or public service, journalism or justice, advocacy or art, you carry with you the responsibility to help society see itself more clearly and to dream of what it could be. George Eliot Clark's voice carries the echoes of this place, laced with brilliance, boldness, and belonging. So will yours. We hear it already in the beat of your language, the shape of your stories, the power of your emerging voices. May you always find the words to name the world and the wisdom to help change it. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Thank you, President Brooks. We'll now commence the conferring of degrees, so I ask graduates to please stand. Chancellor Southwell, as Chair of the Senate of Dalhousie University, I ask you to confer degrees upon those candidates whose names have been approved by Senate.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in Dalhousie University, I admit to their respective degrees and diplomas with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto, those candidates who have fulfilled the requirements of that degree and whose names have been approved by Senate. Admito vos ad gradum. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Graduates, please be seated.
Graduates, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. Whether it's your first or second or even third time crossing the stage, each time is special and momentous. As you come across the stage, you will greet your dean here, who will award you with a pin welcoming you into the family of Dalhousie alumni. I now invite Dr. Jennifer Andrews. Someone is really happy we're about to get this party started, let me just say. I now call upon Dr. Jennifer Andrews, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Dr. Marty Leonard, Dean, Faculty of Graduate Studies, and Ella McDonald, an orator and alum of the Fountain School of Performing Arts, to present the candidates who are here today receiving their degrees.
Chancellor Southwell, I am honored to present the following candidates on behalf of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Sophia Blair Adrian. Amanda Noel Anthony. Anton. Miguel Ricardo Archer Zambrano. Megan Abigail Yvonne Benwell, with honors, first class honors. Shaylin Blake, with distinction. Charlie Bly. Stacy Lynn Bolter. Matthew Michael Boutillier, with honors, first class honors. Emily Kate Bruno, with honors, first class honors. Madison Cassidy. Lorenzo Castro, with honors, first class honors. Grace Catton, with honors, first class honors, and the Eric Dennis Gold Medal. Kathy Kiara Chawla. Kieran Keith Matthews Cody. Evan David Jeffrey Coakley, with honors, first class honors. Ford Vernon Cooper. Megan Mary Florence Cooper, with distinction. Sarah Cooper, with honors. Shelby Jan Cosentino. Cody Annie Couture. David Michael Graham Cowks, with honors, first class honors. Isabel Susan Crawford, with distinction.
Family members, please come up here and take pictures of your graduates. I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you could do that. Please come up. And then graduates, remember to stop here with your dean. Take a nice picture. It's for your parents, not for you. So come on down, please. Please come. Sorry.
Catherine Ellen Davis Curry, with honors, first class honors. Caitlin Alexa Cullen. Megan Johanna Deatter, with honors, first class honors. Nicholas Andre Ekdar Dantrama. McKenna Dominy. Graham Andrew Patrick Doyle. Sophie Grace Drover, with distinction. Rihanna Druxerman, with distinction. Grace Abigail Edwards, with honors, first class honors, and the University Medal in Creative Writing. Mace Abraham Fatali, with distinction. Michelle Alessandra Garcia Burgos, with honors, first class honors. Braden Godkin. Catherine Claire Goldberg, with distinction. Jesse Hunter Good. Anae Grant Church, with honors, first class honors, and the University Medal in Classics. Jessica Josephine Gavada. Emily Patricia Harrison. Austin Carl Harvey. Evan Taylor Higgs. Liam James Howe. Christiana Hubley. Emerson James Hunt, with honors. Joshua Baxter Edward Janes. Sarah Elizabeth Johnson. Veronica Ellen Jollymore, with honors, first class honors. Sophie May Ketty, with distinction. Sam Kenny, with honors, first class honors, and the University Medal in History. Tess Kathleen Kotzebue, with honors, first class honors. George Nelson Carr Creta. Emily Narbeshuber LaRock, with honors, first class honors, and the James H. Atchison Award. Brooke Elizabeth Latimer. Emily Ann Lawler. Jun Xiao Shi Liao. McKenna Catherine Lipset. Matthew Kane Little. Catherine McCoggan, with honors, first class honors. Marin Florence McDonald. Jack Alexander McKay, with distinction. Maya Ella Ruth Mackey Boehner. Isaac Linwood Brown McLean. Nathaniel John Mahoney. Kriti Manny, with honors, first class honors. Elena Veronique Matthews, with distinction. David McGill. Bailey Venera Riley Nash, with honors, first class honors. Vivian Rose Noguera. Sylvia Emily Noel, with honors, first class honors, and the University Medal in Theater. Charlie Parsons, with distinction. Rebecca Elizabeth Sophia Patterson, with distinction. Zhenyu Peng. Jewel Peary, with honors, first class honors. Sophie Andre Poitras. Tegan Susan Brenda Charlton Porter, with honors, first class honors. Potroff, with honors, first class honors. Sarah Elizabeth Poulin. Laura May Rayfuse, with honors, first class honors. Jillian Elizabeth Reese. Destiny Rose May Renzelli. Jonathan Quincy Richards, with distinction. Bo Romero Dreyer. Emily Rose Russell. Laura Saj Hosne, with honors. Rita Ann Sala. Lily Ava Schwartz, with distinction. Julia Lindsay Lee Somerville, with honors, first class honors. Matt David Sutherland. Kobe Jack Edward Teefy, with distinction. Alana Marie Jean Thibault, with distinction. Maxime Thibault, with honors. Michael John Thornton. Brooklyn Autumn Lee Trimmings. Christian Mark Aiden Vallis, with honors, first class honors. Jacob Varner. Megan Victoria Jessica Webster, with honors. Sammy Whitten. Ruby India White. Fiona Louise Ride. Megan Jean Wright. Max Francis Woodward, with honors. This concludes the presentation of candidates for the Bachelor of Arts. Chancellor Southwell, I am now honored to present the following candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Music. Jeremy Boudreau, with distinction. Victoria Angela Dubois, with distinction. Wanda Fernandez Barbosa. Gabriel Galvez Rangel. Sophia Linda Maskin, with distinction. Caitlin Rose Plamondon. Naomi Ella Aldworth Snay, with distinction. This concludes the presentation of candidates for the Bachelor of Music. Chancellor Southwell, I am now honored to present the following candidates on behalf of the Faculty of Graduate Studies who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Master of Arts. Angela Chu. Dawson Frazier. Noel Guscott. Rebecca Isabel Christine Leon. Nicholas Wayne Olive. James Benjamin Thomas. This concludes the presentation of candidates for the Master of Arts.
Mr. Chancellor, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is the highest earned degree awarded by the university, and as such, it represents the culmination of extensive scholarly research and the candidate's outstanding academic achievement. The following candidates, whose thesis and examination have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. And furthermore, Mr. Chancellor, the awarding of the PhD degree marks the completion of a long collaboration between the candidates and their thesis supervisors. So we are pleased in this ceremony to recognize supervisors of our doctoral graduates. And if present, I would invite them to join me on the stage over here to congratulate their graduate. And finally, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to our newest PhDs to join us on the stage following hooding.
Fallon Matthews, Doctor of Philosophy in Interdisciplinary Studies, supervised by Shannon Brownlee and Todd McCallum. Vogel, Doctor of Philosophy in English, supervised by Christina Lutzke and Andrew Brown. Richard Dana Yeomans, Doctor of Philosophy in History, supervised by Elizabeth Mankey and Jerry Bannister. Chancellor Southwell, this concludes the presentation of candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Let's give a round of applause for our graduates one more time. And graduates, you know you did not arrive at this success by yourself, so I'd like you to please rise if you're able and congratulate your family members and your faculty and staff. Please be seated. I now invite Dean Andrews to the podium to introduce our convocation speaker.
Good afternoon. I just have something quick to say. I saw one of the students who came across here, Sophie Poitrow, was actually a classmate of my son's, who's now 23. So you are really making me feel old being here, okay? Every time I come, there's people who are getting older and older, and I don't seem to be getting any younger. Anyway, it's my honor to welcome you to this very special occasion, the convocation ceremony for the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences here at Dalhousie, and today we gather to celebrate the achievements of our graduating students and to recognize the beginning of what we hope will be a fulfilling and meaningful next chapter in each of our lives. To mark this milestone, we're pleased to welcome back one of our own, a Dalhousie alumna whose career and character embody the values and strengths of an arts and social sciences education. I'm going to introduce now Carolyn Blair-Smith. Carolyn graduated from Dalhousie in 1993 with a Bachelor of Arts, earning an advanced major in history. Like many students, she came here with a broad curiosity and left with not only a deep love of history, but also the kind of critical thinking, communication, and perspective that would serve her across a varied and impactful career. After graduating, Carolyn began her professional journey outside of the public service, first with companies like Eaton's and Coca-Cola, but ultimately found her calling in human resources and public administration. She joined the Halifax Regional Municipality in 2005 and spent 17 years helping shape the organization from within. Her roles included senior HR consultant, senior advisor to the chief administrative officer, executive director of people, communications, and IT, and eventually deputy chief administrative officer of corporate services, a position that she helped to define and lead. Carolyn has earned a reputation as a visionary and collaborative leader, someone who balances strategy with empathy, and who always keeps the humane side of organizational change front and center. I'm going to try to speed up, I promise. That poor kid. In 2023, she took on a new leadership challenge as Vice President of Human Resources at Nova Scotia Power, continuing her commitment to building workplaces that are forward-looking, inclusive, and resilient. Beyond her impressive professional journey, Carolyn remains a passionate advocate for education, mentorship, and community. She continues to give back to Dalhousie through her involvement in the Insight Circle of Alumni Advisors and has mentored newcomers to Canada through iSANS. And despite her demanding schedule, she still finds time to enjoy walking to work, travel with her family, and like many of us, looking after dogs. What's perhaps most inspiring about Carolyn's story is how deeply rooted it is in the idea that a humanities education is not just valuable, it is transformational. I actually had a call with her in, I think it was the fall, late fall, and she started talking about the value of her history degree, and the first thing I thought is she needs to speak at Convocation, because students need to hear how useful and important this degree has been to shaping her life and career. So she often tells young people that studying something you love will open doors you've never expected, and that in itself, I think, has a fundamental impact, as she points out that to think critically, communicate clearly, and write persuasively is a foundation for leadership in any field. So please, without further ado, please help me give a very warm welcome to Carolyn Blair-Smith.
Thank you so much. I don't know if I can say it better than that, but I will try. I am a little shocked to be invited to speak here today. I am actually, and many people would not guess it, but an incredibly introverted person. However, when you get invited to speak to an auditorium full of Dal graduates about anything you want, you can't turn that down. I would say there's a lot of big, scary things happening in the world today, and I don't want to talk about any of them. I want to talk about my career journey and hopefully give you a little bit of insight into what you can do with your degree. So I will tell you in my much less eloquent terms about the journey since I graduated from Dalhousie, and hopefully it will help you along your path. I've never written a speech and actually read it or delivered it as I've written it, but I'm going to try to do that today. So first point I want to make is I am not a special person. I am not a brilliant person. I am a very regular person. I don't have a lot of connections. I'm just a Dal Arts degree who worked really, really hard and became very successful. And I want to pause there and just say, because this was something it took me a long time to figure out, you need to take some time and figure out what successful means to you, because it is different for everybody. And if you waste a lot of time trying to be somebody else's definition of successful, you will not be happy doing that. So try to take some time and attention for that. So I'm going to share my definition of success with you. Doesn't mean it has to be yours, but it's mine, and I think it will help you understand my story a little bit. So for me, success means happy, healthy, independent children. Independent children is very important to me. stable, loving, lasting marriage, and a supportive circle of family and friends. I've had the same husband for 27 years, the same best friend for over 40 years. Incidentally, she is a Dal Arts graduate as well, and very successful. I would tell you who she is, but she wouldn't want me to do that. Let's just say she's here in the city in a very prominent role. You don't have to do it this way. This is just what it is for me, and it will just give you an idea of why I pursued the path I did. So I want to highlight that I come from a family where women succeed. My mother, Shirley Blair, taught at the Mount. I always think it's important to speak the name of successful women. Shirley Blair taught at the Mount. It was her third or fourth career. My aunt, Dr. Wendy Bedingfield, who taught at several institutions, most recently Acadia, an incredible inspiration. My sisters, CPA, VP, not-for-profit, academic, both very, very successful women. I joke that sometimes at family functions, I'm the only one at the table without a PhD. I've gone on to pursue certifications, things like Queen's Industrial Relations, but Dalhousie is my only degree. How lucky are we to be in a city with such amazing universities? I'm so proud that my youngest attends Dalhousie for engineering. He's going into his final year. And my eldest, just so you don't think it's all about Dal, attended St. Mary's, much to my horror, got his undergrad and his master's, and he's now in Heidelberg at the Max Planck Institute pursuing his PhD in astrophysics. Education in Halifax is recognized internationally. Remember that, and don't let anyone make you feel that it is somehow less. I always think it's interesting that I've raised 2 kids in sciences. I don't know how it happened. I started telling them from a very early age that the best time of my life was Dalhousie, and I think I forgot to add in the arts part until it was too late. They have taken a lot of electives in history, I think just to make me be quiet, but very, very science-focused. I actually started at King's College in the foundation year program. It's a wonderful program, not a thing wrong with it. I chose it because my sister chose it before me. I was a follower, and I was painfully shy and deeply introverted. And back then, I don't think people really understood what it means to be deeply introverted. It wasn't a whole lot of fun. In my second year, I transferred to Dalhousie to major in history. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, but I had a passion for history, and I had a strong feeling that it was time I did something for myself. And that decision changed my life. For the first time, I chose something that made me happy and that I loved. And I could not wait to go to classes. It was ridiculous, honestly. I wrote papers with way too much emotion. I mean, really, ridiculous. And I totally thrived in that tired old, rundown history house. I think it was on Henry Street, and I don't think it's there anymore, which is really sad. I can remember hanging out at that history house, talking about what we would put in the journal for the following month. It was a really, really great time in my life. When you learn about what people have done in the past, you start to understand what people are doing in the present. Dal challenged me, encouraged me to express my opinions in writing and orally, and my confidence soared. Arts degrees don't hem you in. They teach you to reach further and explore more. They give you the tools to thrive in the gray and be comfortable with uncertainty. Success in an arts degree is less about right and wrong answers and more about discovering the world and building a foundation that will allow you to go out into the world with confidence. If you haven't felt that, think back over your years at Dal and find those moments of learning, those moments of figuring out how to do hard things, hopefully of learning how to fail, and even more importantly, think about the moments you were happy and felt successful and figure out why. So back to my story. So I graduate with all that newfound confidence, still don't have a clue what I want to do. And so I take a job in retail. You can appreciate that in my family, not really overjoyed with that decision. God love my parents, they didn't criticize. When you're brimming with confidence and you've learned to communicate really well, you can literally sell the heck out of anything. And I exceeded all of the sales targets at Eaton's. You guys probably don't even know what Eaton's is. Like, do people remember Eaton's these days? Anyways, really fabulous department store. Eaton sent me to Ottawa to do a business manager role, and they paid for me to go to Ryerson, and they encouraged my career. Sadly, they went out of business. And there I was, unemployed. I was married by that point, and I was pregnant. And I still didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I took some time off, and I learned that I'm a disaster at taking time off. And I thought about the skills that I had learned at Dal and at Eaton's, and I decided that it could all translate into a job in human resources. The audacity of young me. No training, no experience, no specialized degree, applying to an ad out of the paper and talking my way into an HR generalist job at Coca-Cola. Let me pause and say, I knew no one at that company, and I had no connections. Every day I hear people in this city say it's all about who you know. In fact, when young graduates meet me, they tell me that. I don't know the parents of any of my staff, by the way. I'm sure that sometimes people get hired because of connections, but every day in organizations everywhere, people get hired on their own merit. And frankly, I wish parents and relatives would stop trying to get their kids jobs. All it does is make employers doubt they could do it on their own and make the graduate doubt their own ability to look after themselves. You need to be able to do it on your own. You need to know you can look after yourself no matter what happens in life. I told you, they said I could talk about whatever I wanted. So, HR at Coke for 6 years. I so didn't have a clue. UFCW was the union at Coca-Cola. I don't know if you know anything about unions, but that's not a party. And the only thing I knew about unions was what I'd learned in history class. But it was an amazing opportunity, and I learned from some of the best professionals in my field. I spent time in Toronto, Montreal, and Atlanta learning the business, and when I left, I was the employee relations manager for Atlantic Canada. I was also deeply sick of traveling by that point. And so I applied for a senior HR consultant position at the city. I didn't know anyone at the city. I didn't have any connections, and I applied to an ad out of the paper. People still ask me all the time, what's the best way to get hired by you? And I always tell them, just apply. It is very, very rarely who you know. It's what you bring to the table. But you need to believe in your own worth, because you're going to need to convince other people of your own worth. I spent 18 years at the city. I was promoted many times. I left twice. I try to keep that on the down low. I left twice for very short periods of time because I felt like trying something else, and I believe that you should follow your heart in your life, personal life, your career. When I did leave the city finally, I was Deputy Chief Administrative Officer. It's a pretty good position, and people were really surprised that I would leave that position. But I was following my heart. I'm really not that special, but I work very hard, and I'm kind of old-fashioned. I try to make my boss look good. I am loyal. I am outspoken, and I try to do what's right, and I want my employer to do that too. I tend to lean toward opportunities where things are in transition or just a little off the rails, and I passionately pursue getting things back on track. Word of advice here: don't get promoted past your passion. The next step doesn't have to be up the ladder. And believe me, if you don't like your job, no title and no money is going to make it any better. Before I tell you the last step in my career journey, I want to pause and talk about something that will seem totally unrelated. Think of this as a commercial break. 3 years ago, I made a promise to myself that whenever I had the opportunity to speak to a group of people, that I would talk about menopause. I know. Seems weird. If you think it's weird here, I want you to picture me in the corporate boardroom. Corporate boardrooms, by the way, are still full of men. I promise you that all around you, there are women in both your personal and professional lives who are suffering, undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, dealing with pain, cognitive challenges, hair loss, the inability to control their emotions. 1 out of 10 of those women will leave their jobs at the height of their success, and they will blame themselves, because that's what we do. So I ask you to please educate yourselves, to know better, to do better. Change this so that someday, instead of isolation and confusion, you or those close to you will experience treatment and support. Okay, back to the regular program. Three years ago, I accepted a role at Nova Scotia Power as VP Human Resources. And you guessed it, I didn't know anyone there. I didn't have any connections. I did have a bit of a reputation by that time. I will be honest, I wasn't sure how much I wanted to talk about Nova Scotia Power today. We're having a rough time. And this has been a joyous afternoon, so I'm just so thrilled to have spent some time celebrating something. But I do want to talk about Nova Scotia Power for a minute, because I want to share that things are going to go wrong in life. And you aren't going to be able to control what happens a lot of the time. And if you've studied history, you're going to know that resilience is not a nice to have in life. It's a must have. And if you are graduating here today, I know you will have shown it at some point over the last few years. So try to figure out when that was and harness it. Things are going to go wrong, and you will survive it. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to survive that too. So don't shy away from those mistakes. Don't shy away from those risks. Take accountability, apologize, and work to get things back on track. I have never regretted any risks I've taken in my professional career, and I've never really regretted the mistakes I've made. I have regretted times that I could have been more respectful and more kind to those I've worked with, so think about that. Sometimes as women, we're very driven and we forget those moments of kindness. 32 years ago, can you believe it? 32 years ago, I have grown children. I decided to take an arts degree at Dalhousie University. And today, I am a vice president, a leader, a mentor, a mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and a niece. By my definition, I'm really successful. And this degree, the one you are getting today at Dalhousie, is one of the big reasons why. So congratulations. I hope you go out into the world and do what you want to do. I hope you explore and fail and have fun and care for others and be kind, and use everything you have learned here to ensure your success. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you, Carolyn, for that insightful address. Graduates, today you were led into this ceremony and will be led out by our beadle, carrying the new dawn staff of place and belonging. This staff is more than a ceremonial symbol. It embodies Dalhousie's diverse and inclusive community. Crafted with materials, textures, and symbols, reflecting the richness and diversity of individuals like you, graduates who have shaped our campus and who now join a global network of more than 160,000 Dalhousie alumni. The formal business of Convocation has concluded, We ask that you please remain seated so that the stage party can exit. Thank you and congratulations.
Give me the diminish, don't delly old no thing. Nigga much good, ma we done it. Give me the diminish, don't what a big soul thing. Nigga much good. Abon madultinet, dan gisuk eliga haluk sigu ulau si amo we a heu we yo we ha ya ya we yo he yo he ha ya we 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 yo he ha ya he yo we yo we ha ya ya we yo he yo he ha ya we 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 yo he ha ya he yo give me the diminish down the no thing nigga much good ma we done it give me the diminish done what a big soul thing nigga much good abon madultinet abon madultinet dan gisuk eliga haluk sigu ulau si amo we a heu we yo we ha yo yo we yo he yo he ha ya we 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 yo he ha ya he yo we yo we ha ya ya we yo he yo he ha ya we 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 yo he ha ya he yo give me the diminish down delly no thing nigga much good ma we done it give me the diminish down what a big soul thing nigga much good abon madultinet abon madultinet dan gisuk eliga haluk sigu ulau si amo we a heu we yo we ha ya ya we yo he yo he ha ya we 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 yo he ha ya Don Delio no te Nigga much to Maui Danage Get me dead in my neck Don Weatherbeck so Nigga much to Abahon Madultine Abahon Madultine Dan Gisul Teliga Haluk Sigu Ulaw Sipamo We Aheu We Yo We Ha Ya Ya We Yo He Yo He Ha Ya We Yo He Ha Ya Ya We Yo He Ha Ya We Yo He Ha Ya We Yo He Ha Ya Ya We Yo He Ha Ya He Yo We Yo We Ha Ya Ya We Yo He Yo He Ha Ya We 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 Yo He Ha Ya He Yo We Yo We Ha Ya Ya We Yo He Yo He Ha Ya We Yo He Ha Ya Ya We Yo He Ha